What is going on, everyone? Happy Halloween. Here tonight, we are live racing for the Relentless Racing League. Trucks are racing here at Old Atlanta, Old Hot Atlanta, everyone likes calling it. 120 laps of racing here tonight, or 120 miles of racing here tonight. Joined tonight in the booth by Mr. Bobby Rafferty, the defending ARCA champion. What is going on, Bobby?
Not a whole lot. Yeah, did quite a bit of testing here with some of the guys. This is going to be a very, very interesting race tonight. Aero dependency is huge here, and the tire fall off is absolutely wicked. So guys that are patient and save their stuff are going to benefit greatly, I think, tonight.
Yeah, and you're mentioning tire falls. Let's take actually a quick look at what these guys are facing. 122-degree track temp, and that just shows you why this track is nicknamed Hot Atlanta. It's only 77 degrees out, but that track temp is a blistering 122 degrees. And I mean, you've raced here probably more than I have, and it don't matter if you're racing go karts here, or you're racing next gen or trucks here. It eats these tires up like nothing else.
Yeah, this old pavement here is. You always hear people say, "Oh, well, it's a cheese grater." No, this place is a cheese grater. You'll have a second of fall off within 10 laps. I mean, it just chews the tires up. So it'll make for some good racing if guys are patient and they give each other room. But as this race has been so named the nightmare, we're hoping not to see it, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, the guys in this series can turn it around, and we'll have some good long green flag runs and some good racing.
Yeah, that name is from yours truly, sponsoring this race. I was hoping to race here. Not a big fan of Atlanta, but I don't like racing here, but I do to a point because if you know what you're doing, you can survive the mayhem, and that's what I'm really good at, is just surviving mayhem. But I mean, you said it. Hopefully, the race don't turn into a nightmare. These guys in the trucks have struggled really all season long, keeping cautions down to a minimum. I've been the cause of a couple of them. I won't lie, but it's just been a lot of aggressive racing too early on. Hopefully, these guys are gonna take this race slowly to start out, let their trucks come to them, and hopefully get some good green flag runs here.
Absolutely, and it'll be nice to see at that point guys with different tire strategies and things like that that'll play out. I definitely think the undercut here is going to be absolutely key if we do have green flag pit stops. That being said, though, in the test that we did do with some of the guys, Tony Frey actually came in and got tires about 7 laps before us. Um, and we were able to, or should I say, I was able to run him down from about 4 seconds back in about 3 laps.
Yeah,
So that shows you the power of the new tires.
yeah, and I was about to say that it seems like Atlanta is one of those tracks where it's really easy to shortcut too soon. Atlanta's one of those tracks where 1 to 3 laps is ideal. If you go any more past that of trying to short pit or do a short pit strategy, by the time they come to pit lane, your advantage is gone, and they're going to be able to make up that ground plus some.
Absolutely, and I mean our pit cycle was only with about, I'd say, like 5 or 6 laps to go, so it allowed me to go ahead and just keep it pinned straight to the floor and not let up and drive the wheels off of it and run them down. So it can make that huge of a difference.
Yeah, and I mean, you're pretty experienced iRacer here. What is the key to saving tires at this track?
Well, with the amount of aero push that you get, especially in traffic here, to me, it's always been, almost like road racing, giving up going into the corner so you can get a better drive off and get the nose planted. To me, it's the best way I can relate to it at this place is like driving an Indy car in dirty air, because once you're in dirty air, you lose the nose and you lose all side bite in the truck, and at that point you're sitting there waiting on it for what feels like forever. I'd rather lift heading into the corner, maybe even trail brake a very minimal amount, just to set the nose and get the truck rotated. In this way I could drive off the corner straight.
Yeah, we're about to start qualifying here. So this is our seventh race this season. Looking at the standings now, um, Kind of hard to believe, but we have yet to have a repeat winner. Do you think we'll see another new winner, or will we finally see someone get their second victory here tonight?
It's always tough to say because with how aggressive everybody is, and honestly, with how fast everybody is in this series, um, it's really it's an absolute toss up. It's been nice for to see in all the series, this season. You have multiple guys that can win every single night. So it's tough to sit there and be like, no, this guy's definitely gonna get it. But you have guys like Nathan Fuller, that is definitely a threat to win every week. Johnny Brugg unfortunately was not able to make it, but he's always a threat. I could keep on going down the list. There's so many guys, and then you have newcomers coming in, um, like Sean Pointer. He's a one of my guys. He's a dirt guy and is making the transition over to the pavement, but he's got incredible car control. So we could have a new winner there, and not have a repeat winner because he pulls a rabbit out of his hat. So, it'll be very interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah, if you're watching the stream, give me a second. I forgot to pull up an overlay, so that's why I'm having the loading screen pop up. But we are back live. Currently, the 75, and excuse me, learning names here. Usually I hear racing with these guys. Spencer Dewsbury,
Dewsbury. Yep.
Dewsbury, currently with that pole position. Nathan Fuller, who has already won here in the Truck Series, he gets that pole for right now. Jermaine Ball, Jeremy Ball. Well, that's Michael Beal, who I'm
Yep.
thinking of. You know who I'm thinking of.
Yep.
BEAL, who I'm thinking of. Crown over, he's going to get the pole for the time being.
And look at how tight these times are here, which is, it's I related a lot to just the way the trucks drive. They have so much downforce that it allows the times, especially on fresh tires. It's almost like almost any track is a plate track where you're flat out. And here comes Connor Hazel, first guy into the point one bracket with a 166.
Yeah, with these times being so close, I gotta guess. I haven't done laps here. I gotta guess they're able to hold it wide open around here, and that's really dangerous because you get that false sense of, hey, I can hold it wide open. You you can't hold it wide open here too long. Maybe 2 laps at the most.
Yeah, when I was running down Tony after about 2, 3 laps, she was starting to get real spicy at me, and I went, okay, well, if I'm gonna beat him, I can't let out of it. So whatever's gonna happen, happen. But by the time I got to him, the tires were absolutely cooked. So without a doubt, yeah, you get that false sense of security, and Atlanta will, especially this old version of Atlanta, or what I say, the better version of Atlanta. This place will punish you, flat out. This track takes no prisoners. You have to be smart here.
Yeah, and I'll say this: the one thing I've always loved about this track, um, me personally, I like a track that loosens up as the run goes on, and you definitely can hear that at Atlanta. But the dangerous part about it is you can get really loose if you're not careful with those tires.
Without a doubt, you can either get uncontrollably loose or uncontrollably tight, depending on how you're running and how you're treating the tire. We keep harping on it, guys, but it legitimately comes down to how you treat the tires. If you, it's not even as much about the wear, but as it is the temperature. If you get those tires, either the right front or the right rear, too hot, they do not cool down here. They just continuously get hotter, and then you're on ice.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say, as far as mile and a half goes, this by far is the toughest mile and a half on tires.
Without a doubt, without a doubt, bar none. There's no comparison to this place anywhere.
Well, unfortunately, they done screwed it up and redid it.
They did. I would have almost rather seen them do what they're doing with Homestead, and made it into a short track
You mean Auto Club?
instead, or Auto Club. I'm sorry. Yes, Auto
I was
Club.
like, don't tell me to ruin Homestead. That's news to me. Don't ruin that track, please. I love
No,
Homestead.
I would cry. Homestead is honestly one of my favorites, and it's funny. I used to absolutely hate that place, but last season in Xfinity, I think it was our second to last race. It was ran a bunch of laps there, and that's a place you could literally be inches off of the fence, and that's the fast way around it, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, with qualifying concluded, let's go over our official starting lineup. Getting that bonus point in that pole position is Connor Hazel at 31.16. Outside of him would be Joe Ibarra. Going on to row 2, you have Anthony Crownover, I believe, in his first race here tonight, starting off P3. Joe Robert, our fellow broadcaster, and we're going to have to throw some shade here at Joe. Hopefully he's gritted up. We'll throw some shade here in a bit. Nathan Fuller, be row 3. Jared McCauley used to run with us. I actually brought him back this week. He's going to be starting P6 here in his return race. Michael Ball, Craig Parks, row 4. Joseph Nalbeck, Mike DeWalt, row 5. Justin May, Spencer Dewsbury, I think I said that right, row 6. Going on to row 7, Gary Bergeron, William Bozert. Row 6, you have William Moore, Brian Lucan. Row 9, AJ Cawthon and Nathan Penley. Row 10, Mark Morset, Matthew Webb. Row 11, Tom Tor, Matt Lavallee. Row 12, Bobby, you and Zach are not racing. So
Nope.
row 13 will be Sean Pointer, newcomer in here, and Jeremy Beal. That's who I was talking about earlier. When I saw Ball, I was thinking of Jeremy. And that'll actually round out your field. So 24 drivers going to be gridding up here tonight. Decent field we got, and we're going to give some Joe a little bit of crap here tonight. Mr. Joe, let's find a good camera about it. Someone better teach this guy how to do a paint scheme because he has his numbers on the right side of his car. Oh, where's a good camera of it? I'm trying to get a good camera here. We'll get it when they get rolling, but he has the numbers on the left side of his car backwards. It looks like he took the 18 and the flag behind it and just drug it down instead of flipping it. So
I think Joe may have had one too many cold ones when he was revinyling his car this week.
see if we can't get a good camera angle here when the drone cam spins around. We might pause it. There it is. We'll pause it right here real quick. There's Joe's 18, or really 81. So, Joe, love you, man, but I had to give you a little bit of crap there.
He's the mystery man. Is he the 18 or the 81? We may never know.
They're probably sitting there listening to us and be like, these guys are seriously giving me crap about this?
Absolutely. Any chance I get, I'm gonna give him
Look,
crap.
look,
But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
I'm
One thing I
allowed
will
to.
say.
I've made that same mistake. So I'm allowed to. I have made that same exact mistake.
I think we all have. But one thing I will 110% say is if Joe is smart here, do not count out Joe tonight because Joe has got a lot of experience in the trucks. He's actually a former champion. The same season I won the ARCA Championship 2 seasons ago, Joe was the champion in the truck series. So you can't count him out being a former champion. He is insanely fast in these trucks. And with the experience, you never know. And he's also, another thing, he's also a master at strategy. He's beaten me more times on strategy than I know. But pace car is off, and I'll hand it back to you.
Alright, green flag is out. I'm looking at the trucks. The two trucks on the inside line have the same exact paint scheme. That might get confusing as this run goes on. But I saw in that restart, that initial start, a lot of people got loose, almost contact there between Joe and the 55 of Crownover. Early on, Hazel has that early lead coming off the corner. I don't know how much of a run you can get on the outside line as Ibarra is able to close that gap going into turn 3 here. 3 wide. Fuller, Crownover, Joe into turn 3.
As these tires wear in and they start to fall off, that middle lane will come into play. But right now, your main line is going to be that bottom line without a doubt because you have all the grip in the world. But one thing that you are able to do as the tires wear off, if you hang on somebody's right rear, you can get them extremely, extremely tight and force them into the predicament of they're either going to lift and wreck with you or they're going to let off and live to fight another day. So it's a lot like a plate track in the sense that you can play with the air a ton here and make things happen. But guys are getting very aggressive right now, which I expected on these fresh tires.
Yeah, and Ibarra able to make that outside lane work, getting around our pole sitter Hazel. Now Joe Roberts work on him for that second spot. As you mentioned, these guys get aggressive on the restarts. As driving the truck series, it gets kind of frustrating. Because you really don't have a chance for the race to come to you because we usually have a lot of cautions, but coming to lap 3, and let me switch that over from time to laps. 380
One
here.
one thing I will say though, we're doing better than Nashville
Oh!
already.
Contact between Joe and Crownover. And I'll say this: one of the frustrating things about racing this truck series is you always get an influctuation of new people, and you don't know how they're gonna race. Like when you're in the Xfinity Series, the Cup Series, you know who races hard, who races cleanly, who might give you the bumper, who's gonna give you some room. You're in trucks, you don't know that, so you're always on edge racing in this truck series and the ARCA series as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we had new guys coming in, and the same thing last season, but we had guys coming in, which, it's open to everybody the entire season. We had guys coming in 2, 3 races to the end. We had new guys coming in during the championship race. That's just the nature of the beast, and, everybody, we like to call it, you pay your dues. You pay your dues in this series and the ARCA series and move up. Or some guys, they do enjoy the ARCA and the Truck Series and they want to stay, which is always welcome as well. But that's the little bit of a wild card that you have to deal with in these series.
Yeah, if we're watching Nathan Fuller here, started I believe in the top 6, working on Joe for that 4th position, and you gotta wonder if it's worth battling it out this early in a run. It's not like you're racing next gens here where it's difficult to pass. I've actually found the trucks a little bit easier to pass on long runs if you save those tires.
100%. 100%. I'd have to agree with you on that. On that. The ARCA cars are definitely a little bit more on edge, a little bit more difficult to save tires, but you also don't have that downforce there to help you. Whereas in the trucks, you have so much more downforce. It's a lot easier, and they're a lot easier to drive.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what fuel's looking like here, but Atlanta seems like one of those tracks to where if you only need to stop once with how tire wear is, I think Atlanta would be one of those tracks where it might work out to do a 2 stop strategy instead of 1 stop if it is just a 1 stop race.
If I remember correctly, and I forgot to check fuel when I was out there just turning practice laps, but if I remember correctly, these guys are going to have to stop at least twice for fuel. But I am, let's see, you know what? Let me double check here real quick how many sets of tires these guys have on, because I'm telling you right now, pretty much almost every single caution, I'm coming in and I'm putting tires on this truck.
They only have 4,
Um,
4
four
extra,
sets.
4
So
extra.
yeah, so you have probably 2 fuel stops, and like I said, you got, or like you just said, 4 extra sets of tires. I'm putting tires on the truck because they mean that much.
Yeah, they got Jared McCauley and Nathan Fuller going at it. This is the battle for 5th position, and just to give you guys an idea on what lap time's like. We're only on lap 10 here. Last time by, Ibarra ran a 32.1. His fastest time by is a 31.3. So they're only 10 laps in, and the fall off is already almost a second.
Yep. And that's exactly what we had found in that practice race. And it's just going to continue to drop. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we'll probably see 2.5 seconds of fall off if we go green to green flag pit stops here.
Yeah, my experience here at Atlanta, I think the most I've ever seen was 3 seconds, and I want to say that was a Gen 6. Usually trucks, so you're looking about 2 to 2.5.
Gen 6 I've never run here, but man, I'll tell you what, they have got to be a blast to run around this place. Because I'm not a huge fan of the next gen. I am a huge fan of the Gen 6. The Gen 6 is just, it is so much fun to drive.
I mean, it's gonna wash up when the tires fall off. Oh, as Matt says, that contact was
There
in
it
Fuller into
is.
37. Sends a 37 into the inside wall. No caution yet. Coming back up on track. There is the yellow
Flushing out right
flag.
there.
Wow, Matt. You get the broadcaster's curse here. You had to say something about it. Let's go back and see exactly what happened here with Connor Hazel in the 4 of Nathan Fuller. Oh, that was cool. I just saw the replay transition. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Connor just bounced. He washed
Yeah.
up, bounced off the fence, and poor Nathan. Really, at that point, he's got nowhere to go. Luckily,
Not a lot of damage.
looking at Connor's truck and Nathan's truck, they both look like still in pretty good shape. Um,
Connor got a
Connor,
decent amount of rear damage, but the great thing about these trucks is they're just like the next gens. A lot of the cosmetic damage will get fixed. Like you just
exactly.
slam into the wall, lose your front end, you get all your repairs done, you can't even tell the car's involved direct. The best thing I always go back to talking about that is Matt. Oh, where was that at? Was that at Road America? It was somewhere. Matt slammed the wall turn 1, and then he got all the damage. Came back out. His car looked brand new. You can't even tell that car was involved in a wreck.
We just have to remind Matt that he can't park there sometimes. It's okay though.
But 10 laps in, and I can already tell you, pit road is going to be a busy place as we go back live, and it is everyone coming down for a fresh set of tires.
You would, in my opinion, you would be absolutely crazy not to.
And the race off of pit lane, Crown over getting, I think, got a couple positions. He came in P2 or P3 and come out with the lead. The 61 opting to stay out there. Very interesting choice there by the 61. But I mean, yet again, if we see a lot of cautions, like he's going to have a set of tires no one else is going to have. And if it comes down to a 10-lap run, we just saw in 10 laps it was a second fall off. So that could be a winning move later on in the race.
Oh, absolutely. And the other thing that we didn't try, or at least I should say I didn't, I'd be almost curious to see if you could weather the storm the first few laps on 2 tires, what that would do here. I'm really, really not sure about it, but that might be a sneaky move as well.
I don't really remember Atlanta having too much right or left side wear on the tires. Like after a 15-lap run.
And that's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering if we did go through green flag pit stops, could throw in 2 tires on because the car gets super, super tight as the run goes on. Could that be the move?
I don't think so, and here's why. I remember Chicagoland. No, where was it? It was a mile and a half last year, and I took 2, and it gave me a little bit of advantage. But by the time everyone had pitted, I was losing time to Davey behind me. He ended up catching me. So I don't know if 2 would be the right call here. I think you'll just forget the truck way too much.
That very well could be. I know one place that it does work is Fontana. But again, that was also in the Xfinity car last season, and this truck is way different than that Xfinity car. That Xfinity car, you got to be up on the wheel.
Trucks are my favorite. Absolutely. I used to love the Xfinity car. They did something season or 2 ago when they did the whole season update, the big updates, and it just, the way the Xfinity car drives now, I don't like it. It's just something about an update they did to that car. It doesn't fit me.
One thing I will say about the trucks is if you get a really good group of guys together, you'll never have more fun than you will racing in the trucks. God's honest truth. I don't think I've ever met somebody that didn't like the trucks, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we ride on with the pace car looking back at the field. You see the 61 of a volley up 21 spots. He's going to be leading the field to green here. He's going to have to be careful on his initial, on this restart. We saw a couple trucks getting pretty loose on the initial start. So with those 16-lap old tires, keep an eye on that 61. He might go for a ride.
Yeah, that was another thing that we experienced even on fresh tires. If you give it too much loud pedal on that on your coming up to the restart, you can light the tires up and light them up to the point where it will just throw the truck straight right into the fence and whoever's on the outside of you.
Yeah, if I'm the 55, I'm actually liking where I'm starting at. Fresh set of tires, clean track in front of me. Ibarra is going to have a tough task getting around the 61. He was leading the race when the caution came out.
That's still a lot of laps to go, though, and as the green flag comes out here, it
Oh,
looks
yep, there it
like...
is,
Oh,
getting
there
loose.
it
And
is!
there goes Ibarra to the inside. 61 still getting loose.
And we got the big one.
Caution's going to fly.
Yellow flag.
And it's exactly what we were just talking about, is,
I
being
wonder.
super easy on those tires, or on the gas pedal, coming up to that restart, and it bit one guy, and you see the repercussions of it. A lot of trucks torn up now.
Yeah, as Joe was involved in that wreck, Ibarra, he blinked out for me. Did he all F4?
It does not look like it.
No, he didn't. He's just blinking. Okay. So Ibarra actually caught a big break without caution coming out. Very fast truck. He's going to be able to come to pit lane and get all the damage fixed. So let's go limp cam here, and let's see all who was involved in this wreck.
Surprisingly enough, we've only got one meatball flag for Joseph Nalback. Looks like he suffered the worst of it. He's going to have to come down for some required repairs.
Yeah, Ibarra goes to the inside. 38 hard impact into the back of the 61. 27 checking up. 90 gets right into the back with a 97. The 11 making it through all the way against that wall. And you see him just piling up behind. Another wreck behind him. The 75 gets turned as well by the number 1 machine. Oh, there's 2 number 1s. Whoa. Oh, wow. That was a hard impact.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of torn up trucks, but it's the nature of this track, man. You would think, hey, I got fresh tires, I could, put the pedal down and go, and it's just unfortunately not the case.
61 was back. Well, we know the 61 was back because he started that. Yeah, and as a driver, though, you gotta keep that in mind when you're going on a restart on a track like this. Hey, there's someone stayed on fresh tires. There might be a wreck, and a lot of those guys piling in at the end of that wreck just, I don't know if they knew he stayed out or if they're just trying to make as much ground, but quite a bit of arc braking going on there.
Yes, there was quite a bit of orca braking there, as one of my favorite sayings on one of the back of one of our Arca cars says on our Arca series. But yeah, unfortunately, just a huge stack up there, and a lot of guys not being able to check up in time, and these things will happen. Unfortunately, it is still a beginner division. Unfortunately, this is how you learn. But like you said, also, you got a guy that's staying out on tires. That's one of those times where you're like, you know what? Instead of giving him about a quarter of a truck there, I might want to give him about 3/4 of a truck. Let's see how this plays out.
Well, it is Halloween. Bobby, I know I took my kiddos out for some candy. I know you took yours out. Man, how much Reese's are you snacking on here tonight?
Oh, there is a ton of Reese's.
Reese's and
we
Butterfingers, man.
we live next to a pretty nice area, so it's like back when we were kids when you used to go out and they used to give out the full size candy bars. Yeah, there's quite a few full size
Yep.
Reese's downstairs that yeah, they got Daddy's name on them.
So I actually live just outside of Fort Liberty. My bad. But I live just outside of that base, so there's a lot of more people with a little bit more money around here. I actually took my kiddos to where I deliver at. I deliver to a gated golf course community. Oh my
Nice.
god! Yeah, I kid you not. Like, they would walk up and like, just grab one, and the people like, no, grab a big handful, and I'm like, what? So we went out, and we actually had to go back to the Jeep to unload because they had literally filled up their buckets within the first 10 houses, and I'm like, oh my goodness, holy cow!
I can remember tonight
Matt,
was
thanks for
really
the
cold.
8 months resub.
Tonight was really cold, so we didn't stay out too late. We brought the kids out early, but I remember a few Halloweens ago, both of the kids' bags were so heavy. They were dragging them on the ground. They physically could
Oh,
not pick up the bags. That year we must have come home with about 40 pounds, if not more, worth of candy, and I'm sitting there lugging the bags
I
for
don't
them.
want to talk about the weather. I just went to Martinsville Sunday, 86 degrees, right? Yesterday,
Yep.
back home here in North Carolina, 70 something. Today, woke up this morning, said it was like 50 degrees. I was like, oh, I'm gonna throw my shorts and shirt on for work. I didn't realize it was gonna cool down throughout the dang day. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like,
I
well,
don't want to hear it. I woke up this morning and I had to scrape ice off my windshield, brother. It was 20 something degrees out, and I'm looking around and going, is it January or is it October?
Green flag.
As the green flag is back out, looks like everybody learned from their mistakes. Still a few guys spinning tires, but everybody giving each other room, and we're back and racing.
yeah, and with that wreck, with Ibarra getting involved in that wreck, I mean, he's not looking too bad. He's still up here just outside the top 10 and 13th, looking to the outside of the 65 of Moore right now. With him getting shuffled back, it kind of shuffled up the front running order. You got Cronover leading now, Joe Robert in second, and Jared McCauley making his return to Relentless, running P3, and Bosver, I didn't even see it, inside the top 10. He'll be fourth, and Penley will be fifth.
Definitely some big shakeups, and we want to talk about big movers here. Let's see here. We've got AJ. I'm gonna butcher this one, so I'm sorry, AJ.
Coffin.
But AJ Cawthon from 18th up to 8th, and Sean Pointer from 25th up to 10th already. And we can keep going up. Let's see here. Nathan Penley 17th to 5th. William Boisvert, we'll go with that, 14th to 4th. So we got a lot of big movers coming up through the field right now.
And another guy to give us keep an eye on is 37 Machine of Connor Hazel, involved in that first wreck with Nathan Fuller. He's made his way back into 6th position. Still a little bit of damage on that right rear of that truck. But he is slowly but surely making his way back to that front where he started at. Started P3, fell back, and made his way through that wreck. And here he is in contention to possibly sneaking in a win after getting some pretty heavy damage on the rear of that truck.
Yeah, it's been a great recovery already for him, but it's wild. We've had so much action already, and we're only 25 laps into this 80-lap race here, so still a lot can happen, a lot of time, but some great side-by-side racing going on all over the pack. This is one of those races, okay, where do I look? You got second, third, side-by-side, fourth, fifth, and then you go back a little bit further in the field, and it looks like a high-speed pace lap from about 10th place on back.
Yeah, you got McCauley, Robert going at it for second, Bosvert, Penley going at it for fourth. Joe and his dang 81 are throwing me off.
He's the mystery man.
hey, okay, if we're going to throw shade at Joe, we got to throw some shade at Bosvert. He has that number backwards on the roof.
Yep, I've been guilty of that, and I'll tell you this point blank.
I've done that so many times.
My number was backwards on my ARCA car for the entire season, and Steven and Thomas told me about it like 3 weeks in, and they gave me so much crap about it. Me being as vindictive as I was, I left it. And I made sure I left it for the entire season. Like, Bobby, your number's backwards. No, it's not. It's short track style. Well, you're not racing on short track. You're not my real dad.
That's almost like me. They're like, hey, you gotta do 20 laps of practice. So what did I do at Daytona? I went to the apron and did 100 miles an hour, 20 laps. Like, you want to make me do 120 laps? Here's your 20 laps.
Yes, you did, and you drove us nuts with that. I was amused, and so was Steven and the rest of the admin team. We couldn't even be mad because it's like, well, we never said how fast you have to do practice, so if he wants to spend an hour and a half doing 20 laps at half the speed of smell, have at it.
Matt Ford saying leave north-south alone. I don't know who we mentioned about north-south. But Ibarra, he's making a pretty good move back towards the front, making his way up to 8th, restarted outside the top 10. worked his way around Dewsbury to 75, and now has his sight set on Hazel. This might be an interesting battle because these two did not qualify too far off of each other to start this race.
No, it's definitely getting interesting, and I'll tell you what, it's nice to see that, and I don't want to say it too loud, but it looks like guys are starting to settle in and settle down a little bit. It's definitely going to make pit strategy interesting because I want to say we could make about 29 or 30 laps on fuel, so I'm wondering if guys are going to try to start saving and just make it on one more stop.
Yeah, and pit strategy is going to be interesting. So we have your top six. They all pitted on that initial caution. Hazel came back in to top off, it looked like. Dewalt, Fuller, and Morissette all pitted underneath that last caution. So you gotta wonder if those guys are just inside that window to maybe make it on one stop instead of two.
I'm thinking so, and looking back right now, it looks like Connor is actually backed off a little bit to the point where now Sean Pointer is sitting sixth, and you can see Connor doesn't look like he's driving as hard. I really think he may be trying to stretch that fuel out there
Yeah, we
to
got
make
a
it.
battle for the lead going. Joe Robert looking to the outside of Crownover. McCauley looking in as well. Bozer and Penley are closing that gap with these two going side by side. So 5 cars all within a half a second. And then it's a 2-second gap back to the number 00 in that 6th position as Joe Robert gets the advantage coming out of turn 4 here. Lap 32 going into 33 of 80.
And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Once the tires started wearing in, that middle lane becomes very prominent and almost the place that you want to be. Because once you get to somebody's outside, you kind of control their destiny and how their truck is going to handle. I couldn't believe how powerful it was. It's very difficult to make that inside move where right now we're going to see how it works
Uh-oh.
here with third and fourth going side by side. I apologize to you guys. I'm horrible at announcing, and I don't really know anybody's names.
The 47 truck, that's north-south. Yeah, Penley thought about putting it 3 wide there, and he kind of second guessed that with probably thinking, hey, we're on older tires here. Not the best move to do is not Penley. McCauley and Bozer are just going at it for second. They're starting to actually lose Joe and Crownover ever so slightly with that side-by-side racing.
Now, one thing I do like that Crownover is doing is he's getting right up to Joe's back bumper, but backing the corner up a little bit, and then also going low to get some fresh air over the nose of that truck in 3 and 4 to try to help it turn a little bit better. I like that strategy there by him. You still have a lot of laps. No need to fight for the lead right now. Settle
Ooh.
in. They're getting spicy. Where's
Bozer.
Tony with the spicy?
Bozer just almost cutting the nose off of McCauley. And I operate with McCauley. Actually, that name might look familiar to you, Bobby. That's who finished second at Martinsville to me.
Yes, it is.
So,
And I'm gonna say this publicly real quick. I want everybody in the chat to
nope.
give Isaac. Yep. I
Nope.
want everybody to give Isaac a congratulations. This gentleman right here won the iRacing Series race from Martinsville and put on an absolute clinic, coming from the back to win. So huge
Yeah.
shout out to him. I was
Unfortunately.
lucky enough to be on the box with him for a little bit
Unfortunately, took up my
and
only
watch that.
competition.
It, that dude, you could have fit the Romanian army
Yeah.
in between you and the other guy with the amount of net code.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about that. iRacing, fix your prediction code already, please.
But going back to McCauley, so we raced together in Martinsville, and then the next night we had a league race at Dover. And this dude was right behind me again. I'm like, dude, I just cannot get away from you wherever I go. He's like, I know.
Sounds like a me and Jacob situation for the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, both were. He caught up to Joe Robert all over that back bumper. Crownover looking to the inside. And you got to wonder how much he is heating up those tires running the inside line compared to Joe and Bozer on that outside line. Or middle line, I should say.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting call because when you're in the middle there, basically of a little pack, right? You're gonna have a ton of aero push, which isn't gonna help the truck and help the tires. But then, like you said, also running down low, you're turning tighter, so you're gonna chew the tires up also. So it's kind of which is gonna be the lesser of two evils here.
Also, I'm just now noticing this. Keep an eye on this double zero. That gap back to that double zero was 2.5 seconds. He has gotten that gap down to about 2 seconds now. So he is slowly but surely catching this lead pack. All by, and he don't have no help either. This is just him just grinding it out, trying to catch him.
Sean, I don't want to talk up my guys too much, but I will tell you this: Sean is a member outside of Relentless, within Exiled,
Oh,
and Yellow Flag comes out. We'll get back to that soon. What
Mark
happened here?
Morset having some issues. Oof.
And he went straight to the pits. Or actually, no, it looks like he slid to the pits. Looks like a
Ooh!
matter. Ooh.
That took two guys out of this race. That was a
Yes,
very
it
hard.
did. Almost three. Whoa.
Slow
If you
this
go,
down real quick.
if you go and watch Mr. Bergeron, he did some off-road jumpy trucks in there
And it's
to
almost
avoid that.
it's looking like this 42 looks like he just got tight rolling through the corner. Yeah, it looks like he was getting tight and came up into the 96 of more set. He said
Yep.
Bergeron almost got involved.
And that's exactly what I was saying earlier. He looked like he got tight in the center of the corner, but once you get somebody even close to that right rear, it binds that truck up so bad where she just four-wheel drifts up the track. And unfortunately, Morissette was out there and he came right
Whoa,
across his
no.
nose.
Give me a second, guys. Do not update. Thank you. I wanted to go egg something out. I was trying to update my driver's going, no, don't do that. He said Bergeron almost
Oh
got involved.
man.
Oh! And I will say this: thank goodness we have that new grass update where you're not sliding. You can actually control the vehicle now.
Yeah, that to me was 20 years of real racing experience has always told me that yes, grass is slippery, but grass does not make you accelerate at light speed. That thank you iRacing for fixing that because I should not be able to go from 150 to 300 miles an hour in half of a blink of an eye
Wow.
because I'm on the grass.
While standing on the brakes, mind you.
Exactly.
It's like you got in the grass, and I'm not talking about the turf at Charlotte. I'm talking about the grass, like here at Atlanta. You get on the brakes, you gain speed, and it's like, well, what's the point of hitting the brakes? So I'm
None.
glad they updated it and they put a better mechanic in for it. It as a road racer with all the road racing I do, it's made it more enjoyable. I can't tell you how many times I've just barely touched the grass trying to get on my brakes or trying to get someone in the room, and I hit the brakes in the grass, and I'm along for the ride. So I'm
Yep, you're
so
going
glad that
for a
update
ride.
came out.
You're going for a ride and you're a passenger and there is literally nothing you could do except for saying some Hail Marys and praying to whoever you pray to that you make it out alive.
Yeah,
So another cycle of pit stops here, and it looks like let's see here. Looks like Lavelle actually stayed out. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Joe Robert comes out of pits in second,
I think
and Crownover in
Lavelle
third.
Lavelle's a lap down, so
Oh, he is. You're right. You're right.
he's trying to get his lap back.
You are right.
Oh, but I hope he didn't say that again. Did he not learn his lesson the last time he led the field of green?
Hey, if you fail once, try again. I respect it.
Right. The more guys you wreck out from your mistakes, the better chance you got to winning.
Oof. Shots fired. Shots fired. Do I need to bring up the soundboard right now? Because I got a
No,
perfect one for
please
that.
don't.
Just so everybody knows, Isaac is such a fan of the soundboard. I thought Isaac was going to kill me earlier, but it's all in good fun. So we're a little bit past halfway here, Isaac. How do you think the aggression level is going to be here in this second half of the race? You think we're about to see it step up, or you think guys are going to be still a little bit patient here and wait till about 20 to go?
No, we're in the point where cautious bring cautions with these guys. I know from experience.
This is why I asked the question. You know from firsthand experience.
I remember I was doing the ARCA race last week. I was getting so mad at all the cautions. I was like, can't we just please stay green?
I'm blaming it on you because you were a truck driver that came down. We've been going green, pretty much green to checkered in ARCA, but that also was a short track. So you know,
I caused one caution. That's because I entered
yes,
that
you
corner.
did.
I entered that corner too hot, and it was either hit the 9 or spin myself out. And I'm like, I'm not hitting the 9.
I'm not hitting the 9, which I've said it to you in private. I'll say it to you publicly. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. But looks like lights are off on the top of the pace car, so we're going to be going back to green flag racing here.
Yeah, Joe Robertson leads to green. Trying to figure out Ibarra. Ibarra is all the way back in 17th. Once they got some more damage, Jake Hazel's going to be starting 10th. Other two guys to keep an eye out on. And if there's one guy that wants to see us go green, it's Pointer. Pointer was definitely the fastest truck out there on older tires. That double zero is going to be hoping this race stays green, as they will have to pit at least one more time.
100%. Green flag's out.
Oh, Joe, get loose on that restart!
Joe spun the tires, and they're stacking up, stacking up.
Oh, and there's going to be the yellow.
Yep, and a lot of trucks got involved in that. A lot of trucks got involved in that.
A crown over. Go ahead and send that bill to Joe Robert. Do not send it to SBRN, please. I know he's driving an SBRN truck, but
Man, a lot of torn up trucks here.
That's a bad blimp view. There we go. And Joe getting loose. That might have been a little bit of prediction code. 97 getting the back of Crown over. Nowhere for him to go. Jared McCauley got involved in this as well. Crown over getting loose, coming down. Doran. The 34. But here's the crazy. I don't see a lot of damage. We'll have to check that 34 out here in a bit. I don't see a lot of damage on 34. There is a pilot behind him. Everyone involved. I think it's safer to say who made it through this is wow.
Yeah, fortunately, I think quite a few guys' nights are going to end. You have Michael DeWalt with a meatball, Connor Hazel with a
I
meatball.
want to go on board here with Webb. I think Webb may have made it through fairly unscathed. Yeah, a look at his. Yeah, Webb made contact, but there's no damage on that car. Let's check the front of McCauley's truck. Yeah, McCauley has a good amount of damage on that right front, but definitely could have been worse for him.
Absolutely. Even Sean Pointer. Sean Pointer had a mega cram in the front and the rear of his truck, but could have been 1,000 times worse than what it was.
Trying to figure out the best car. There is a lot. And this is what really sucks is Hazel, who was making his way through the field and get involved in that first wreck. He's going to be involved in this one. Hard impact there with Thomas Torr in the 99. Joe Ibarra, I believe, made it through this. No, he was involved in that as well. Oh. Yeah, a lot of fast guys involved in this wreck.
Yep, absolutely. So,
Oh,
unfortunately, you said it the best. Cautions breed cautions. Right now, I'm counting probably about 10 trucks, 11 trucks on pit road.
I'm counting maybe 5 that still have a truck that can contend for a win.
Yep. Absolutely. I wouldn't as long as these guys still have decent engine power. I think a lot of these guys are still going to be okay.
Yeah, and Joe.
Connor Hazel's night is done. He don't even have a hood left on that thing. He's about 3 panels away from being a modified now.
Yeah, and if you're the 55 or anyone else involved in that wreck, it's so frustrating when you get involved in a wreck by someone's mistake and they get to keep on racing with the clean truck.
Yes, I agree with that 1,000%. What do they say? Sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield. Unfortunately, the windshield was the guy that spun the tires, and there was a whole lot of bugs behind him. Well, hopefully that's the last of the caution three cautions. Uh-oh. What are you laughing at?
Matt just said Joe will blame that on the tire model.
Valid argument. Those brand new tires weren't grippy enough.
And
Sorry, Joe. Love you,
then
buddy.
Gib goes 100% new tire model fault. You can see the tire tear apart on the restart. Hey, I forgot to ask who set the session up.
I want to say it was probably Zach.
Did he make sure we had a spare pace car?
Maybe. I mean, the pace car that's out there right now, thankfully, isn't a Chevrolet, so I think we should be all right.
So it was funny. I was at the race and I was looking down at my phone because they had just done the choose cone, and I looked back up, and I'm like, so before I say this, I can't remember what track it was at, but I remember there was a track where there was a safety truck by pit lane while pit lane was open and it caused a wreck. I want to say it was a mile and a half track. I can't remember where. So I'm looking back up and I'm thinking, who in the hell forgot to tell the safety truck to go back to pit lane? That's the first thing that came to my mind because I didn't see the pace car break down. And then everyone starts cheering and pointing, and I see the pace car, and I'm like, oh, that makes more sense now.
I could not believe that they had to tow the pace car off, and it looked like a Formula E race because the pace car driver had to jump out and jump in the new one.
Well, did you not see all the rubber that was built up on that tire when it ripped the cord out, the cable for the fuel pump? That thing looked like slicks.
Yes, they did.
Well, we're going back green, both for Robert front row.
Green, green, green.
Some new names in the top five. Dewsbury Parks, they're in the top five. Ball's just outside the top five, so big shakeup here with these last two cautions. And I'll tell you what, you know who really caught a big break there on that caution? The 61 machine. He
100%.
had just got the wave around.
Absolutely, and he was able to come back in, top it off with fuel, get some tires. He's sitting better than anybody else on the track right now.
Yeah, we're sitting with 31 coming to 30 to go this time by. You gotta wonder, is anyone in fuel save mode? Can they make it to the end if they save fuel? Or are they good on fuel regardless?
Again, I think we could do 29, but if you're sitting in this draft and we go green, as we got a Joe Robert jumping out to the top to try to pass for the lead here, if it was me and I was close, I would not mind sitting behind some guys and maybe being about 3/4 throttle down the straightaways and save a little bit of fuel here to stretch it.
And meanwhile, Joe and both are going head to head down the front stretch. Matt Forns in the chat saying, look at North-South up front. I know he doesn't have any other North-South drivers out there to screw over, so, I mean, he might be good.
I'm taking that car or truck to tech because I got a feeling it's got them North-South louvers on it, and I don't think that is legal equipment on a truck right now. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, that wreck took out a lot of good drivers. I'm looking back now. Pointer, he's back in 15th. Fuller's back in 8th. Not sure how that truck is looking, though. Take a quick look at the rear trace. Fuller's truck's actually looking pretty clean. Fuller did have some speed earlier on. So keep an eye on Fuller and possibly make it a run towards the end of this race.
Yeah, I'm thinking a lot of the guys towards the back there that were involved have motor damage. Just looking at lap times here, I think it's going to eliminate quite a few of them.
Oh, Fuller getting aggressive, going 3 wide.
3 wide.
He's going to make it work. Yes, he's going to clear him. Here was 61 as well. He's been in his fair share of wrecks, and here he is running outside the top 5, trying to get into the top 5 here.
All in all, even though we have had a few wrecks here tonight, I've got to say they've put on one heck of a show tonight. This has been an exciting race to watch and call.
Ooh. That's all we got next week. Walking clean.
Yep. Yes. And that is a race that Dun dun dun. I will be racing in.
Oh shoot, might as well take my drop lead then. There ain't no shot in winning that race now.
I will see how the night goes. I'm not going to get involved in anybody's points battle. And I get eliminated out of the standings anyway, so.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Last time at Watkins Glen, I got taken out into the bus stop lap one. So hopefully I don't have a repeat of that. But knowing my luck, I probably will.
I got to go into it with a positive attitude, my friend. Go into it with a positive attitude, and anything can happen, especially on the road courses. I always say you keep all four tires on the track, and you got a shot at winning it. As we got top two are making a little bit of a breakaway here from third and fourth place. William and Joe trying to make this a two truck battle coming down to the wire.
Yeah, and you got to be careful pushing it too hardy early on, trying to build a lead up. I mean, if this was an open setup, yeah, this is perfect. But with a fixed setup, I don't know. You get too far out there, burn your stuff up too much. It's gonna open a door up for Penley, Parks, or maybe even Fuller.
100%. One thing I will say, I've been watching these guys for a little bit. It definitely seems like Joe is driving the truck in probably about a car length and a half, or truck and a half length, I should say. No, the vehicle, Bobby. Driving it in a lot deeper than William. William seems like he's letting off, and like I said earlier, getting that nose to plant and driving the truck off a lot straighter, and you see it pay dividends. Like right here, you've seen it pay dividends down the straightaway, and gaining all that time back, if not more, than he loses going into the corner.
Yeah, the 47 is doing something really smart. He's entering that corner, kind of helping keep those tires cool, if you can say, by not entering the corner as fast. He's just letting that draft on a straightaway keep him hooked on the 18th bumper, or keep him close to the 18th bumper, I should say.
Absolutely, he's got a run here, and he's going to take it.
Yeah, he got a really good drive off that time by.
Side by side down into one, but Joe's going to hang tough on the outside, which is going to make William tight. Off the corner here, maybe? No. Very, very well done by William on keeping that truck down on the white line and sticking with him.
Yeah, and these guys battled it out for too long. It's going to open the door for Penley and Parks to close the gap. That gap right now is a 1-2 as both are able to clear Joe here. Joe possibly looking for a crossover out of turn 3. But he can't quite get the drive off.
This is going to be the tell on whether Joe has a right front tire left or not, because he's right up behind him in that dirty air, and you see right there, Joe just cannot cut the truck down the track, and Williams going to open up about a 2 truck length gap now.
Yeah, and I'm almost kind of surprised Joe in 1 and 2 stayed right in the wheel tracks or tire tracks of the 47 instead of trying to get some clean air as he rolls through the corner.
100%, but I don't know if Joe's truck will allow him. You notice in the past 3 corners, he's committed to that top line, and I don't know if that's by choice or if the right front tire is, not allowing him to choose another lane. Well, it's staying about even. Maybe William over the last lap gained about another 2 truck lengths here, but have a huge gap here back to Nathan Penley. See what happens here, but William might, as we're going to be coming down to what, about 17 laps to go.
18 to go.
Or 18 to go.
17 this
Thank
time.
you.
Yeah,
William might have this in the bag now.
Yeah, I'm watching Fuller back here in 5th now. Or 6th. 61 of LaVille starting to fall back a little bit there. Joe Robert coming down pit lane, actually. So that answers your questions. I don't think they are good on fuel. He's just going to split this in half. And if I'm Bozer, you got to pit here. I don't think
100%.
Like, you were talking about making up 4 seconds, but you only got 17 laps to go. If he stays out too long, that Joe's going to make up all sorts of ground on him if Boser's not good on fuel. Let's actually take a look at pit strategy here. Take a quick look at the stint length. So yeah, Bozer came in
Michael
23.
Ball just came down in.
Oh yeah, Bozer's gonna have to pit. He came at 23 laps ago. No, maybe not. No, yeah, that's 39 laps. Right? There's no way he's making it. Yeah, if I'm the
Nope. I
47,
think
you gotta pit. You gotta pit right here.
what these guys are praying for now at this point, if they don't come in, they're gonna be praying for a caution, as Penley just called out that he's gonna be coming down pit
And
lane.
Bozer's
So,
staying
and
out. Oh, there's contact. That's gonna be a caution.
there's the caution.
Craig Parks was the one that got rear-ended while Penley was trying to come to pit lane.
And now this brings us into
Oh,
the situation. Joe Robert is a lap down, but he should
I hate.
get the lucky dog.
I can't really say. I hate to say it. I have history with Penley here, but you gotta fault Penley. You're calling out coming to pit lane. 27 trying to give you. I don't know if you can fault 27 there really. I think I would have to possibly put this on the 4 or 97 here. You know someone's coming to pit lane and he's still running the bottom line. I mean, granted Penley overshot, but with Penley calling out, Nathan Fuller, he should have known better. He shouldn't have run in the middle of the high line there going through that corner.
I got to agree. It's tough for Penley too, because I did not hear him call it out over voice chat, but I did see him pop it up in the
Oh,
he popped
X.
it up in the text chat. So if guys are ultra focused, which I'm guilty of this as well. There's times where I'm just so ultra focused. I've got guys messaging me and I don't even see it.
Well,
You know,
so
so
me, I run SDK when I run, and right where text chat come through, that's where my fuel calculator sits. So I don't ever see text chat if I have my fuel calculator up. So that could be another thing. I mean, Fuller, I can't believe this, but Fuller, I don't think Fuller has any damage. There's no shot. No, no, no. He
he
doesn't
definitely.
have a lot. I mean that damage you see on that left front on your screen, that is going to cause a little bit of a drag on that truck. And these trucks, with how aero dependent they are, especially a track like this, I don't think Fuller's gonna be able to really lead a line.
Yeah, if I was Fuller,
I would
I
come in
hate
and get it
it's
fixed.
yeah, it's a tough position to be in here because you're up front, but at the same point, with that damage, how long can you maintain up front? I'd almost take the loss now and then go like hell and pray. I would almost feel like I'd have a better shot at that point,
And
than not coming in.
well, also
But
with this, I want to say Fuller. So he's leading right now. So who's in front of him? You have the 37, who's a lap down. The 37 is a lap down.
hey, they put a new hood on the truck too. Shout out to the pit crew. Free
The
free round of beer.
the 90's a lap down. And everyone in front of him's a lap down. So the worst he would have came out if he's a stayed and got all that damage fixed. I want to say, and if people still in pit lane, I want to say he'd probably be just outside the top 10
Yep.
a fresh truck. So I mean, but I mean, if you don't run something where you can see the whole leaderboard, you don't know how many people are on the lead lap. So
Definitely going to be interesting to see. And then we've also got the wild card here of, we've seen how these restarts have gone today. We've had, what was it, 2 cautions coming to the green flag, with guys just
yep,
getting a little bit rough on that gas pedal on the initial start. So you never know what can happen.
yeah, Tony, he shouldn't go from the top to the bottom. You're right, but when you hear someone calling out pit lane a mile and a half, I know me. If I know someone's coming pit lane, I don't care if I'm battling for the lead. I'm not staying on that bottom lane for that reason alone. Someone's either gonna miss pit lane and shoot up the track, or come from the top lane down. If you're running up top against the wall or that middle line, you have more options to go than if you run that bottom. So, I mean, I put that 50% on the 97 and 50% on the 4. It's just, he's got to be a little smarter when someone's coming to pit lane there.
One thing I will say too, though, is I would say 99.9% of iRacers are going to have a mic with, or a headset with a mic, or a VR headset with a
And
mic.
Penley has one.
Just call,
I know he
yeah,
does.
just call it out verbally, and it solves a lot of issues. But again, beginner series here. You know, this is the reason they are the beginner series, is to get all these kinks worked out. As it looks like the lights on the pace car are off,
Yeah, they're on
and
through
about
3 and 4 right now.
yep, and we're about to go green. Pace car is off.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is out. We'll see how Penley can manage with
Oh,
this.
the 7 getting loose.
Oh, coming back up, coming back up.
And that's
Big
going to cause
wreck.
a caution. Still wrecking.
No
No
caution
caution?
yet. No
Okay, we stay
caution
green.
yet.
Wow.
And Penley still trying to hang tough after spinning the tires as well. He's still spinning the tires going down the backstretch.
Yeah, and look at Fuller lose all that ground going down that backstretch. It doesn't seem like a lot of damage, but that is a huge parachute on that left front.
Absolutely, and the one that's making out the best on this is William Bosvert. He's checked out pretty much. I'd say he's got about a 6-7 car or truck length gap here to second place, and those guys are battling hard. And that's the best thing you want to see in your mirror as the leader coming down to the wire here. Fuller also still hanging tough and actually contending for third place here, Isaac, even with that damage.
Yeah, but a lot of that's due to the fact he's in the draft now. I mean, he went from starting first to falling back to fourth by himself on the inside line. And he's hanging tough. That's because he's behind someone now. But one guy I'm keeping an eye on is the 61 of Lavelli. Spun his tires earlier in the race, went a lap down, got lucky with a quick caution. Here he is, 8 to go, battling for the lead with Bosworth.
He's going to try to make that top lane work, but Bosworth slams the door on him.
If I'm 61, you gotta get out of the tire track. You gotta get that clean air on these fresh tires.
100%.
He's doing the opposite. He's following them.
if I'm Lavelle right now, I'm doing everything I can to get to that right rear quarter of Bosworth to try to get that truck tight.
Yeah, 61 Lavelle, he is literally falling inch for inch behind the 47, and he is not going to be able to complete the pass doing that.
I will say this, though. Give William credit. William is putting his truck exactly where it needs to be to hold off Matt Lavelli here. But Lavelli looking low, a little bit of a bump.
That's as close as you can get. Looking low again.
Man, you couldn't fit a piece of paper between them two going through 1 and 2. It's getting real, ladies and gentlemen, or as Tony would say, it's getting spicy.
I have a feeling if these guys keep racing like this, we might see a bumper. We might see a bumper here.
I'm thinking, now bump and runs are legal in Relentless, but bump and dumps are not. And at a track like this, not suggested.
Look, from experience, that's all these guys know how to do is bump and dump. They don't know how to do a bump and run. All right, I'll leave it at that. From experience. Twice.
And now the commentary has gotten spicy, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll leave it at that.
Isaac, there's one thing I love about you. You don't care who it is. You will speak your mind, my friend, and I got to give you credit for it.
4 coming to 3 to go. I think both of our guys. I don't think Lavelle has anything for him. Lavelle.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if the move was going to be made, it had to be made in those first couple of laps on these fresh tires. But again, all credit to William. He put his truck exactly where it needed to be to block any chance of a run from Lavelle. And, you know, It paid off for him here.
Ready to go this time by. We got battle back here between Bergeron and Lucan. That orange and yellow truck, he has been near every single wreck, and he's still running up here in the top 5. Or no, he's just outside the top. No, he is in the top 5. That's Bergeron.
Yep, he's in the top 5. In the top 5, been through a war, and I guarantee you he's probably sitting there thinking, if I can get out of here with the top 5, I'm going to call it a good night. Where's the beer?
Yeah, if I'm the 47, I want this white flag to come out sooner than later. But everyone's single filed out.
As we're entering turn 3 here.
Turn 3, everybody's single filed out. Bosworth is come collect this white flag. Yeah, he's continuing to gain.
He's continuing to gain. At this point, just hit your marks, and you got your win. And you are locked in the playoffs.
Yep, 7th race, 7th different winner. Lavelli trying that high line, or that Larson line we like to call it. Yep. Can't get the momentum though.
Looked like he got into the wall a little bit there, which, you know, hey, win it or wear it. I respect it. You got to try something to try to gain, but here we go. William Bosworth with your win. 2nd place will be Matt Lavelle, and 3rd place will be Nathan Penley. Nathan Fuller was able to hold on for 4th place. Great job by him with that damage.
And you gotta wonder if he wished he would have got the damage fixed.
It's tough to say, man.
It really is.
It really is. It's so tough to say because passing here on new tires is so difficult. So, you know, we finished here with 16 trucks on the lead lap. He probably would have came out of the pits, I'm going to say, after the wave rounds, maybe in about 12th. I don't know if he would have been able to get back up to 4th, you know? So it's one of those deals, 6 of one, half dozen of another. Which one do you pick here? And he picked track position. Yeah, it wasn't a win, but he was able to get out of here with a top 5.
As Bosworth collecting, getting those donuts done. See, I mean, if he keeps facing the wrong way, the 47 is the right way.
Putting it up against the fence and burning it down.
Oh, he's not north-south. Oh, see, north-south still can't win a race.
Oh, shots fired.
Hey, you leave me alone. I gotta deal with him tomorrow. Actually, no, I don't. I'm not doing road course stuff tomorrow. Heck no. Alrighty, let's wait for these people to get in podium finishers as go ahead and start off with the 97 of Nathan Penley. What is going on?
Oh, happy with another podium. I can't complain with that.
Yeah, man, it was a lot cleaner race than we're used to seeing here in the Truck Series. Usually we have a lot more caution. I think we only had 4 or 5 for the day. 2 of them were back-to-back due to getting loose on the restarts. But you seem to get through most of his wrecks pretty cleanly. Didn't see you get involved in too much stuff. What happened there at the end? Do you think you could have had anything for Bosworth or the 61?
Man, it was close. Matt and William were both really fast. William was really fast. I messed up on that last pit stop. I accidentally added fuel after they started fueling, so I was stuck for a few extra seconds there on pit road, and it shot me back some. So I think if I would have had, I mean, either way, I had a really good restart there on that last restart. So, I think I would have had a better shot, but William was fast. You know, if I would have had as much fuel in the tank and and was able to restart a little higher like I should have. I think I would have gave them a run for their money. That's for sure.
All right, man. Well, tough race here at Hotlanta. Definitely looked hot. Looked like you guys were loose and tight, then loose again. But we go from our traditional making left-hand turns to turning them right a couple of times. Going to Watkins Glen next week.
For sure.
One of my favorite road courses. Not sure if I'm gonna be racing or broadcasting. We'll figure that out throughout the week. But good luck next week at Watkins Glen as we get our first of 2 road courses. Yeah, first of 2. Next week at the Glen.
I love the Glen, man. That's one of my favorite road courses. I'm really looking forward to it. Had a solid finish there last season. So, yeah, really, really looking forward to the Glen.
All right, man. Congrats on the podium finish here tonight at Atlanta.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
All right, next let's pull in our second place finisher, the 61 of Matt Lavalli. I don't know if I'm butchering your name or not. If I am, I'm sorry. But man, you had a very interesting race. You stay out on, well, I think the first caution, spin your tires, go a lap down. You get your lap back, have a caution right away, and you're there to battle out for the win. Unfortunately, you were just unable to pass that 47 there. Talk through that.
Yeah, no, I mean, throughout the entire race, I had some really lucky breaks that got me to where I was on that last run. And when it came down to that last run, I just didn't have his level of speed. There were a couple laps where I felt like I could get close to him, but I knew the only way that I was passing him was either getting to his outside, which I never did, or getting to his bumper, which I did a couple times, but I never really tried to move him because I don't feel confident enough in my ability to move someone without wrecking them. So I try not to pull that out of my arsenal too often.
Yeah, look, you came close a couple times. I was broadcasting it. I gotta ask, was there a reason you stayed in his tire tracks trying to get around him, or were you just not comfortable going to the middle line to try to get around them?
I mean, at the end, by the end of the race, I knew that it was only a 10-lap shootout or so to the end, so I was really being aggressive with my line running with my tires. And I mean, for most of that run, it was beneficial to me to be in his draft and have him pull me down the straightaway, but by the last few laps of that run, by like the last 2 or 3 laps, I could tell that my tires didn't like me anymore in the corners. In fact, I almost lost second place on the last lap just because of how far my tires had gone. And that was because, like I said, I was abusing them to the max because I knew that I didn't need them for very long. And even if a green-white checkered had come out at some point, I still had another set in the pits waiting for me, so I knew that I could do whatever I needed to do with these tires.
All right, man. Well, I think this is your first race with us. I don't know.
First race with what?
With the truck series, I'm not sure. I have a horrible memory.
I have raced every race this season.
Okay, it's probably a good thing I don't know your name then. I'll just leave it at that. It's probably a good thing I don't know your name yet. But this is your first podium then?
Yeah, this is my first top 5 of the season. I got wrecked on the last lap at Daytona and at Las Vegas both times when I was on my way to a top 5 finish. I got wrecked. So yeah, I mean, I was really excited just to have a top 5 finish finally.
Alrighty, man. We'll get your first podium in your first top 5 here at Hotlanta. We go from doing a bunch of left turns to throwing in a couple rights here and there in a bus stop. Going to the Glen next week. Should be a fun race. I always love going there. Really, really fun track to run. It's not difficult, for me at least, and it creates a lot of interesting racing.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Alright, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alright, next let's pull in our race winner. First and foremost, I don't know if I'm butchering your last name. I was saying it Bowesford all night. Is that correct?
It's Boisvert, but usually people who speak
Whoa.
English say people who speak English say Boisvert, and it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I can't
Hey,
say the way you
Isaac.
just said
Hey,
that.
Isaac, we failed miserably.
I
I
didn't.
got
From the Americans, we apologize, my friend.
it's okay. If you want, you can call me Greenwood. That's literally what it means.
William, one of my
Wow.
old teammates, Felix, and I have called him this for years. Felix Roy. Come to find out years later, it is not Roy, it is Ra, or
Yeah.
Wah, I believe.
What did you say it was?
And
Boivar?
Bois vert.
No, no, I'm not even gonna try
not
that.
a shot.
No,
Not a shot.
not a
He's
shot.
William from here on out.
But anyways, man, first and foremost, you gotta get that number fixed. It is facing backwards on that roof. I had to give you
Oh,
crap. We give Joe crap because his number is backwards on the driver's side of his truck, and I noticed yours is backwards. But man, what a race that was for you. I think you're running in the top 5 most of that race. You seem to have one of the most fast long run speeds. I think the only guy that's a little bit quicker than you on that really long run we had was the 00 who was involved in a restart wreck. But you get the lead and you just kind of, I wouldn't say drive away, but you managed that track really well, keeping that 67 behind you, or 61 behind you.
yeah, the secret was really tire wear. Like, it took me a long time to learn that, but I always kill the right front or like the right outside tires when I do road or whatever. Like it's I always go in too deep, so it's like I'm not gonna do that today. And I backed way off entering the corners, and everybody was trying to pass me, but like I got a better run off and save tires, and that's what got me the win, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's one thing Bobby was saying. You're behind the 18 of Joe there, and it seemed like Joe was sending it a lot deeper than you. And you were kind of letting off a little bit sooner, letting your truck roll through, and really letting that draft going down the straightaways keep you hooked onto his bumper or near his bumper to a point to where you finally got a run. I think coming off a full and were able to go past him pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Like for like the first 5, 7 laps or so, like everybody would be quicker because they have more grip. But after that, it goes away so fast it hits a cliff, and I didn't have to deal with that because I saved my right front by entering way earlier or backing it off a lot, so I could rotate the truck and then get a straight line out. So that's what helped me a lot.
All right, man. Well, you are our 7th new winner of the season. We have yet to see a repeat winner. So, keeping the streak going. Shoot, by this time when the playoffs hit, we might have 20 people in from wins alone. So, well,
Sorry guys, but I'll try and go for a repeat this season. So I don't know if it's gonna stay for long. I'll try my best.
all right, man. Well, we got Watkins Glen next week. Interested to see how that's going to shape up because I don't know how any of you guys drive at Watkins Glen. It's our first road course. I think there's very few people returning to trucks. I think me, Nathan, the 2 Nathan. I think that's it. I think everybody else is new to the truck series. I may be wrong though. So it
I
should.
don't know if I'll be good or not, but I love road racing and I've done a lot in the stock cars. So I hope I can get another win next week.
All right, man. We'll see what you can do next week. As good luck there, and congratulations on that win here tonight.
Thank you guys. See you next week.
Well, this definitely served up to the nickname Hot Atlanta. Um, I didn't see too much tempers flaring, unfortunately. Usually there's some tempers flaring in Atlanta. Didn't see too much of that. A lot of respectful racing, something we've been wanting to see all season long. It took us 7 races, but we finally got there, Bobby, I would say. We finally got to the point to where these guys will race hard, but have a little bit more give with some take. And I'm glad to finally see it. Hopefully we can continue that on as we go to Watkins Glen next week.
Without a doubt. I mean, you saw
Oh, and then Chicagoland.
tonight.
Ooh, Chicagoland after that.
Yup, one of the best
Ooh.
tracks on the schedule, in my opinion. But no, we 100%. We saw a ton of give tonight, and I think it came down to the fact of guys realized real quick, like, oh man, I actually gotta think about what I'm doing and drive this truck. It's not just balls to the wall out here. And you think back, with the exception of, I think, two out of the 4 cautions, basically inexperienced, on the starts with spinning tires.
We
And then,
had 2 on the start, We had the
Yep.
one with Fuller and the 37. And then we had the one coming to pit lane.
Yep.
And then we
Which,
had one more, I want to say.
but at the end of the day, I mean, it was honest mistakes tonight that brought out the cautions. It really wasn't,
Over aggressive driving, like we've seen. Yes.
over aggressive driving, guys driving over their heads and trying to take everything that they can, which, from I could putting on my admin hat here, from an admin perspective, is absolutely phenomenal to see. I couldn't be more proud of the truck guys tonight. Put on one heck of a show. And on top of that, we didn't use a green white checkered tonight, which, again, hats off to them. That's great to see. And hopefully, we'll go on to Watkins Glen next week, first road course, and continue the trend.
Yeah, first road course, probably I can't say the easiest. It's like one of those road course, if you've ever raced stock car, I'm going to say stock car racing. If you ever raced stock car racing, might be on iRacing or the NASCAR Heat Games, biggest piles of trash ever. But
Agreed.
it's ingrained into your head. Like, I'm one of the guys, when it comes to Watkins Glen, you put me in any car, give me 2 laps, I'll figure my breaking points out because I just know the track like the back of my head. So I usually puts on some pretty decent racing. One thing I love about Watkins Glen is, in my opinion, it has a lot of passing opportunities, more than really a lot of road courses we go to. So definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully, I don't get taken out in the first lap if I'm not broadcasting, but if I am, we'll see y'all then. As it should be an interesting show. 40 laps of racing there. I think we're gonna have to pit twice, so that should be interesting. But we'll see y'all then.